Welcome to my How Healthy Are You weekly educational podcast. My name is Dr. Thomas Brewer. I'm a PhD chemist and nutritional blood microscopist. Today is March 7th, 2022, and this is podcast number 118, which will be on microwave ovens. So there's a lot of confusion out there about microwave ovens, a lot of bad science, pseudoscience, misinformation, people thinking microwaves are super high energy, so I'm going to set the record straight. So let's start with a continuum of something called electromagnetic radiation. You may have heard of this acronym as ER for electromagnetic radiation. And sitting in the middle of a continuum of frequencies for electromagnetic radiation is visible light. So at the higher energy end of visible light, you have blue, and at the lower end of visible light, you have red, and then all of the colors in the middle. If you've ever looked at a rainbow, you'll see this same pattern, blue at one end and red at the other. If I increase the energy of the electromagnetic radiation, I go into something that I can't see. I see a band called ultraviolet. Now, ultraviolet is higher energy, so it ends up breaking chemical bonds. It also causes sunburn, so that's higher energy. If I go even higher than ultraviolet radiation, I go into the X-ray range, and X-rays cause cancer. So that's that direction. Now let's go in the other direction of visible light. So lower energy than visible light, we have infrared. Now we can't see infrared radiation, but it's really good for melatonin formation. You've heard of infrared saunas. So this is a way for us to heat our bodies, but there's a lot of benefits just to staring at scattered light from the sun, and it's the infrared radiation that'll scatter off objects like plants and trees. This is very good for melatonin formation, which is an antioxidant, and it's also a great way to form vitamin D. Now, the vitamin D, if we're outside in the sun, that comes from the UV, the higher energy. So if I stay at the lower energy, I'm looking at scattered infrared light. Very good for us. Let's go even lower energy, and we have the energy that's used for cell phones and microwaves. So microwave energy is very similar to the energy used in cellular phones. Bottom line here, folks, if you're not afraid of your cell phone, you shouldn't be afraid of microwaves. Okay, so let's go into a little more detail on how the microwaves work and what the hazards are. So the way microwaves work is they heat food as a result of first moving the molecules. So the way a microwave works is the molecules move, and because when you get all that movement of the molecules, there's friction, and that generates heat. Now, normally when we heat something, let's say we use a gas or electric stove, we heat through something called conduction. So the heat, the high temperature of the stove gets conducted to a pot, which then that heat gets conducted to food or water. Now, when something heats up, and I increase the temperature, the result is molecular movement. So if you listened, you end up with the same thing. You either heat something, which makes the molecules move fast, or you make the molecules move fast, which results in heat. Either way, it's the same thing. You end up with something warmer or hotter, higher temperature, and in the end, the molecules are moving more. The issue with microwaves, though, is with conduction, the food is heated from the outside in, and with molecular movement due to microwave radiation, the food is heated from the inside out. That's where the danger is with microwaves. The food's hot inside, You can not realize how hot the food is. You can bite into food that's very hot on the inside but not so hot on the outside, like perhaps a jelly donut. Also, eggs have this problem. I don't put eggs in a microwave, but if you wanted to, they'll just explode. The yolk will heat up so much that it'll burst right through the shell. So these are the dangers of microwaves, and the biggest danger is you absolutely do not want to drop it on your foot. They're very heavy. That's the danger. Okay, now, if I look at the normal issues that people think of with the dangers from microwaves, meaning the electromagnetic radiation, the issue is leakage. People think, well, these nasty microwaves are leaking from the door. Well, the answer is, yep, they are. I already told you they're about the same damage or the same energy as your cell phone, but you can prove it to yourself. If microwaves are leaking from inside your food cavity for the microwave oven to the outside, well, then they're also going to be leaking from the outside in. So all you have to do, put your cell phone in your microwave oven, do not turn on the oven, and then use another cell phone to call it. And if the signal goes through, meaning if you hear your phone ringing, you know that microwave radiation can pass through your cell phone door. And so what? Because the energy coming off the microwave decreases very, very fast. If you are 2 feet from your microwave, the energy is infinitesimal. There's hardly anything, any intensity at all within 2 feet. It's actually even less than 2 feet. The intensity drops off very, very quickly. And even so, who cares? The microwave energy is lower energy than infrared. So another thing that is used with microwave radiation is heating equipment that physical therapists use for hyperthermia. So this is just a way to heat muscles. They use these hot packs and they get heated with microwaves. Again, microwaves are extremely safe. It's kind of silly when I hear people being afraid of microwaves as they talk on their cell phones. Now, microwaves do not break chemical bonds. Remember, I mentioned earlier that ultraviolet light, UV light, does break chemical bonds and you get sunburn. So these are higher energy electromagnetic radiation, higher energy waves. But microwaves, they do not break chemical bonds. So therefore, microwaves do not destroy the bonds in vitamins. They do not destroy the bonds in your food. They do not destroy the bonds in your enzymes. Absolutely nothing destroys minerals because minerals are elements on the periodic table. So nothing is going to destroy a mineral. The only way a microwave could damage a chemical bond is if you heat the food so high. It's just the thermal heat. The high temperature can damage chemical bonds, but it's not the microwave. It's just excessive heat. So the bottom line here is microwaves are extremely safe because they're low energy. And anything else you hear is fear-mongering, it's fake science, it's pseudoscience. In fact, it's no science. These are just people that don't know basic physics and chemistry. I want to thank all of you for listening. Please leave a comment, and as always, don't keep me a secret.